One of these lengths is correct, and one of them, you shouldn't do it. Okay, so we have two different lengths here. One is very short and one is very long. Now, this is the nail that both of those nails started with. Which one do you feel more comfortable wearing?
Look at me. I'm going about my day. Oh, I am tapping my nails on this table. Oh, I'm typing away. So, do you want me to keep doing that?
Would you feel comfortable with that? Yeah. Would you feel comfortable with that?
With this length? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Why?
Because it's ridiculous. I'm gonna bump this nail wherever I go. It's not supportive.
Does it feel vulnerable? And
yes.
Yeah, okay. So you've had nails before. Grant is a friend of mine, and I've put nails on him a few times, and we've always gone short. Now, you can grow to this length. It's a very desired look. It's very popular right now. But I wouldn't start there. And this is the reason why. When you first do nails, you want to use a third and a third and a third rule. I've mentioned it before in videos, but it's super important because if you do a nail like this, which looks really cool right out of the gate, but if a person is not used to it, you are setting them up that when this guy breaks, it is going to hurt. And that's what you were feeling when you said that it doesn't feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. What happens is the leverage. Oh, does that feel uncomfortable? Okay. And I'll tell you why it feels uncomfortable. Is because, I'll take the polish off. There is a tiny little nail holding on to all of this product. Now, I've worked the apex properly, and I've built that nail properly, but even as it is, it's extremely vulnerable. Could you imagine having it on all 10?
Nope. No, I cannot. It would be not good. I'd call you. Well, I would try to call you. I would struggle, yes.
So like I say, it's totally a great look. It's very popular right now to have really long nails. And I think you can have them, but I believe, well, with my experience, I'm telling you, go with a shorter nail and let it grow. Because when I did these on you before, I do them this short. And then they grew out and we made them a little longer and a little longer as you got used to it. And that's what I strongly advise to get used to it. So I did this nail in two different colors. One being my foundation pink, which is a more opaque pink.
Gosh.
That really isn't comfortable.
It really is.
Wow. You don't like that?
Uh-uh.
Okay. And that's case in point why. I mean, if a customer wants to have this long nail and they have this tiny short nail bed, can you see there? See how short that nail bed is? You can see it right there. That's where it ended, right? This is the length that it should be. And this is my third, and the third rule. So if this nail from cuticle to free edge, right there, that's how long Grant's natural nail is. And I'm going to cut that distance in half, and I'm going to add that distance on the free edge. And that's what I did. That's where the clear stops. That's how long this nail should be. If you measure these two little guys up, they measure about the same. You've got the clear and this matching this nail here. Those would be the same lengths. This extra added is literally, let me see now. I mean, you've got your length here. 1, 2, 3. This nail is 3 times longer than the whole nail here. And that's what happens. You're going to have 2 things happen if you're going to break this nail. You're going to have the cuticle pop up like this. Well, that hurts still.
It's sensitive.
Very uncomfortable.
Scary.
Isn't it? He might be a little more sensitive because some people might not be as sensitive to that. And you could wear these and put them on and maybe go about your 3 weeks and not have any problems. But as a general rule, if I put these nails on 100 people with short nails, I can pretty much bet you that most of them are going to come back broken apexes, very uncomfortable, ripped nail beds. I mean, it's not going to be pretty. So 2 things can happen. It'll pop this way off the cuticle. It'll just pop off because it's too heavy on this end. It's just putting too much pressure. Or it's going to snap across the apex point. So something's got to give. If your nail's being compromised in any way, like you're going to pick up some luggage or something, the groceries, and it slips out of your hand, if it goes like that, something's got to give, right? And it's most likely going to be this nail, and it's going to crack off right about here. And that can be just literally snap in half like that. And if it snaps too low, which often it can, it can snap down to your natural nail. That's what's hanging onto it. And then you've got a really bad problem. So as long as this is, you've got, obviously, I'm saying you have this much too long on it. So what I would suggest is make a nail like this, let it grow, and as it grows out from here in the cuticle, you fill it, and then don't shorten it. In that 3 weeks, you've gotten used to the extra length. And then you fill it again, 3 weeks later, it's that much longer. Before you know it, you'll be out to here if you really want it. And your natural nail will be out there too, and it'll give you some support. It'll give you a lot more leverage. But to start there, you're setting yourself up for failure or a really bad break. Take a look at some pictures of what can actually happen if you don't have the proper length just to start with on a new set. What these photos have in common is they break at the apex, the stress point. These kinds of breaks are due to fake nails being too long for the natural nail plate to support. Note this photo, the nails look short, but they all broke. Thank you to the viewers who shared their photos with us. So when I mentioned the length, I'm really advising this mostly for new sets. If you've never had nails before, if you put a long nail like this on, I really feel you're setting yourself up for failure. And I mean that from experience. I'm speaking from experience. If I have a client, now it's tough because the client really wants it. I think it's up to the nail technician to talk about the third rule, and talk about how much longer you can really stretch that out, and talk about how much nail estate that person has to be able to grab onto. It's like if you're building a house, you don't want to go 6 stories when your foundation can only support 3. If you do the 6 and something happens, you're going to lose the whole house. And that's what's going to happen here. It's a really, really weak foundation to start there. So this really is referring to new sets. Now, if a client comes into me and they have a natural nail that's as long as this one, I can go a bit longer because they're used to having natural nails. Now, if Grant had naturally long nails, we could go longer, but he doesn't. In his case, he has really, really short nails. So you want to give them a chance to grow. So you want to put a nail on like this first, let it grow a little, and as it grows out more and more, you can get to this length. This is not a bad length. It's just a bad length if you're starting out with nails. If you start here and you have a really bad break, it's really going to turn you off. So again, I want to make sure you understand or hear me that I'm not saying that you can't have these or start there. Just, I want you to know that you could break your nail really, really bad if you start there. So start with these little guys and grow into it. I have a great video where I applied these nails on Grant to show you the starting length if you want to catch that video and exactly how you do it and where you should go from that. Check this video out. It really goes into detail of what length you should have.